Hello everybody, I am here to teach you about a really fun auction game for 3 to 5 players called Felicity the Cat in the Sack. This is published by Stronghold games and designed by Friedman Friese. This was originally published as a game called Felix the Cat in the Sack, and it has been out of print for a long time, but thankfully Stronghold has brought it back, and it is a really fun game. As I said, it is for 3 to 5 players. The 3-player version does use something called a dummy player, which I'm not really going to get into in this video. I'm just going to be teaching you how to play a 4 to 5 player game, which I think it kind of works best in the 4 to 5 player range. So to set up, depending on if you're playing a 4 or 5 player game, you're going to have these cards set up right here in this row. And this is essentially like the cats that you're putting into the sack. Everybody's going to have a deck of cards that has the same color back. So yellow player, red player, blue, black, and green. And their cards are all going to have the same distribution on them. There's all fun little drawings on each of the cards. But this number 3 cat, everyone has this number 3 cat. Everyone has the same hand, the same deck of cards in their deck to start. So in the beginning, we're going to shuffle them up, and then each player to the right is going to choose one of those cards from their deck, and they're going to discard them. So everyone doesn't know exactly what cards they have in their hand. You know, the black player doesn't know exactly what cards the yellow player has. That the yellow player knows, you know, that, oh, their 15 just got discarded, so that stinks, but, you know, that's how the game goes. The distribution of cards is listed here. There's 2 negative cards, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 positive cards, sorry, 5 positive cards, a 0 card, and then 2 dog cards, which I'll get into what all those cards do. So to start, after everyone's picked a color, and like I said, this is for a 5-player game. If we were playing a 4-player game, we would be removing the 3 card from the set. There's 1, 2, 3, 4 players, which we're doing here, but we're doing a 5-player game, so that goes back in here. We're going to seed money onto the cards equal to the value that's listed there, so that's 2, 3, 4, and 6. Black chips are worth 1, green chips are worth 5. At the start of the game, everyone's also going to get 15 chips, or mice money, as it's called. So again, the blacks are 1, the greens are 5. Money is kept secret, so nobody knows how much money you have. Once you've doled out the money to all the players, if you're playing a 5-player game, you should have the exact amount of money the mice money that's in the bank. If you're playing a 4-player game, you reduce it by about 5, if I'm not mistaken. If you're playing a 3-player game, you reduce it down to just 21 mice money in the bank. So that's set up. We've got everything set up here. You're going to determine who gets the start player marker, which is this little wooden sack. Very cute. And the start player is going to choose one of their cards from the deck, and they know what card it is. It's a -8. And they're going to put it into the first slot of this sack row. So then the second player is going to put a card in, third player, 4th player, and the 5th player. Then it's the start player's turn. The start player is going to flip over their card, and then they're going to start the bid. They can choose to pass as their starting bid, or they can wager any amount of money that they have in their hand. If they wager an amount of money, you know, let's say they wager 2, the next player in turn order would have to raise that bid, so 3 or anything higher than 2, and so on and so forth. If it ever goes back around to the first player, let's say the bid's at 7 now, the first player would still have to choose to raise or pass. So let's say the start player, the bid's at 7, and the start player says, you know what, I pass. I don't want any more, you guys can have it. So once the first player passes, they take whatever money is on the lowest valued card, they add it to their bank, and then they flip over the next card. Now, as I mentioned, there are some negative cards, 2 negative cards in each player's deck, 2 dogs in each player's deck. There's a small dog and a big dog. This is a small dog, and when the small dog after all the cards are revealed, if there's only one dog in the row, then something special happens. Basically, it chases away one of the cats. If there are multiple dogs in the row, then both dogs just fight against each other, and then they disappear, and none of the cats get chased away. But if there is a small dog, after all of the cards have been revealed, the small dog will chase away the lowest value cat card that is out there. So if there is a -8, that's the lowest value. There's -8, -5, and then there's positives 3, 5, 8, 11, and 15. So if there were no negative cards out there, the small dog would still chase away the lowest value positive card. Rabbits don't count, just cats. So in any case, first player passes, reveal the card. Let's say second player passes, they take the $3. They reveal the next card. Third player decides he's going to pass. They take $4 and reveal the next card. And then at this point, let's say players 4 and 5 are battling it out, and then eventually player 5, let's say, drops out and says, you know what, fine, you can have it. Now, player 5 knows what's in this last spot. So that's an interesting place to be in, because if player 5 knows that this is a negative, they could be kind of bidding high just to sort of drag the other player into their bidding. But we'll see what happens. So player 5 finally passes. Now, player 5 takes the last remaining money that's on the card, and then player 4, who had his bid, let's say player 4 bids 15, whatever. Player 4 pays his entire bid to the bank and then collects all of the cards that are in this row. So now this is a great score for player 4, because the small dog, as we said, there's only one dog in this row. Small dog chases away the negative value cat, and then the player 4 is left with these 3 cards, and these are points. So at the end of the game, you tally up all of the positive numbers that are on these cards. Well, you tally up all the numbers, so if there was positive and negative, you tally it all up. Again, zeros are nothing. Dogs are also nothing. So, but player 4 just scored 16 points. Now, that seems great, but remember, he paid $15 in order to get it. Mice money is also worth points at the end of the game. So really, in this scenario, player 4 lost a point. Also lost all of his money, which means that in the next round, because the winner of the bid starts the next round, in the next round, they're going to have to pass first. So if there is still money in the bank, then you fill up the cards again with all the appropriate amount of money. And then you start again. Make sure you keep your score cards separate so you don't get them mixed up. And everybody throws in cards again. Now, let's see here. I believe I have a large dog somewhere. Yeah, perfect. So in this scenario, we have a large dog and a small dog. Now again, if there were 2 there, these would cancel out, and then you would just be left with the cat cards that were out there. But let's pretend like this is the scenario here, which is a horrible scenario for whoever wins this, because the large dog is always going to chase away the highest value positive card. So the large dog chases away that 8, and then whoever wins this is stuck with -21 points. And similarly, if there were only negative cards out there, let's just say the 0 was out there, and the dog, then the dog is going to chase away the highest value card. Zeros don't count, so the dog would chase away the -5. And then you're still left with -16 points. So the game ends after 9 rounds, which is the amount of cards that you have in your deck. So you'll play through all of your cards minus the one that got tossed to the side. And at the end of the game, whoever has the most points on their cat cards as well as their mice money is the winner. If there's a tie, then whoever has the most pet cards is the winner. And that is how you play the game. There are a little bit of special rules, like if everybody passes and things like that, but they're explained on the last page of the rule book. The rule book is very small, and it's very well written and easy to follow as well. So that is Felicity, the Cat in the Sack, and I really like it. I hope you give it a shot. Thank you for watching. If you have any questions, leave them in the comments. Bye.